Hey guys, this is T.o., aka t.o.producedit here, and today we're doing a Playboi Carti, Pierre Bourne type beat tutorial. This is going to be my first YouTube video on how to make beats and stuff, so obviously leave me any feedback, criticisms in the comments below and let me know what I can explain better and what I can do better. And yeah, sorry about the background noise. This is the first time I've done this, so I don't really know how it's going to sound. Maybe the computer's going to be too loud or something like that, but let's try it out. So I'm going to go straight into it. I run Nexus. You guys can use Omnisphere. There are some free plugins as well that I use, which are here. If I go into more public plugins just to show you, the VB1 by Steinberg, and a Model E by Steinberg are quite good synthesizers, or Sinister. If you just search up best free synthesizers, sorry, my bad, into Google, a list should come up. It should be like the first or second website. Just don't click anything that looks random or booky. Don't do that. I think just stick to what looks professional, and download them, install them, and see how it is. Anyways, I'm using Nexus just for today's tutorial, just so I can explain it better because it's what I know how to use best. And I dragged all the way down in Nexus to the vocoder settings because I know these ones are the best, and I just sort of cycle through them. I would recommend using this one, the piano voices, but a very good one, if you go down to FX, where is it? There we go. The Sahara one is amazing. I used it for one of my previous beats called Guernica, and so I'm using piano voices. It's what I found to sound good for the chords I'm using. And the chords I'm using, if you go into piano roll, first of all, let me click on the right track. I am using minor 11 chords. I don't know a lot of theory. This is just what sounds good. And if you guys don't know any theory like me, what you can do is just click onto the little circle in the top left with 3 lines. And then people usually do this to show you the melodic scales you can use, like Aeolian, and they're like, oh, skip every other note, la-di-da. You've seen loads of videos like this. But I go into advanced chords. I'd recommend minor 7th, minor 9th. They're very good. Suspended 2nd and suspended 4th are good for like comethazine type beats. But minor 9th, minor 7th, very good for Playboi Carti, Pierre Bourne. But I usually go into advanced, and down here you will have minor 11th, minor 13th. These are the best chords to use. They're very dreamy, and they take up a lot of the stereo field, especially if you pan them a little bit. If you add a bit of reverb, sounds amazing. Anyways, so I just clicked on the minor 11th because that's a chord I know I love. Clicked on that, and I just found the right starting note. For me it was B, for you it might be C, for you it might be F. As long as it drops down from your note, the second chord has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 notes down. Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't have to be, but it's just what sounds best to my ear. And this is what my chords sound like. Right, so very dreamy. Takes me 2 seconds to come up with them. Literally just click on here, advanced, minor 11, drag it in, bosh, sorted, done. I added a bit of ornamentation, pardon me. That is this F sharp here, and then it goes up to the B, just as a little melody that you can follow so you know exactly what's going on. Alright, my phone is vibrating. Let me just, there you go. So yeah, just a little melody you can follow so you know when the next chord is about to come through for the listener. So and here I have a C sharp, which is an extended part of the chord. I just have it on top because I want it to go from quite a wide chord to a slightly thinner chord, so you can actually hear a difference between the two, so it's more interesting. So yeah, that's just all I did for the melody. And then usually what I do is I just start off with the drums straight after. So this is a section that has all the drums in place. Let's go to the clap. This is from a kit I used called the Pierre Bourne kit. It's literally got every Pierre Bourne sound, like the Magnolia 808. Very hard to find, but it's there. Pierre hi-hats, my favorite hi-hats, go-to hi-hats. Kicks, I don't really use these. They're quite flat for me. I like something with a bit more punch to it, a bit, you know what I mean? Open hats, just literally anything you can want. It even has this tag like,
yo Pierre, you wanna come out here?
You can just flex and pretend you collabed with him and stuff. But next thing I do is I add the clap in. Everyone knows clap. You just put it every other one here, and this is what it sounds like together. It's a dry clap. I haven't really mastered or mixed this right now, so I'm probably going to do that after this video. I'll put some reverb on, probably pan it a bit to the left. But yeah, this is what I have. Next we have the hi-hats, and for this purpose I'm just going to single out drums only, so there we go. Okay. And we all know how to do hi-hats. It's really easy. Just drag in a sample, put it on a channel, and then fill each 2 steps. And once you do that, you can go into here, add one in the middle. Go on, if you want to do this little sound, chord to step, put it right next to the other note, and then drop it down. Just adds a bit of variation. Messed around with the velocity down here, and here, and here. But there's one thing I did forget to do, which is if you press Alt-R, I recommend you do the panning a bit so they come in different sides of your stereo field. It's just a bit more interesting. The listeners probably won't be able to pick up on it, but you know you did it, so you feel good about yourself. And velocity, just mess around with it a bit, get your bounce right. And the hi-hat's already more interesting that way. I'm just going to save this. Right, next what I did is I got my kick. Now this is a bias kick. It is from an Icy Twat kit. It's got literally every sound you could want. If I can be bothered, I'll link it down below. If I can't, then just Google Icy Twat free drum kit, and this comes. And this is the best kick on it, in my opinion. It's very, very punchy. It cuts through, as you can hear. Very, very, very. It's a bit distorted. It clips a bit, but that is the kind of kick I like. So yeah, all together, let me just show you the kick pattern as well. It sounds like this. Very simple here on the first and then the second beat of the next bar. I add a little triplet here just to make it sound like it's building up to something. So yeah, those are the drums for now. I then added a open hi-hat from the Pierre Bourne kit, and it sounds like this. Very simple pattern. I sped it up a bit here, and you'll see why in a second. Okay. That's all I'm going to show you drums wise for now, because the 808s are like their own thing in my eyes. I don't count them as drums. They're so much more than that. So melody, clap, hi-hats, and then we have the basic groove of the song. Like, it's bouncy, it's got all the right stuff in it. You add the open hat in, but it still sounds a bit empty to me, so what I usually do is I open another instance of Nexus. I have a Metro Boomin pack on here, and I just go to throwaway pack. It is a very good sound. Another one is Trippie. I use it later on in the video, you'll see what it does. It's just very dreamy. And I drew a melody, and here are the notes. Just follows this basic notes of the chords that sound good over the top, so that's what it sounds like. And that is half the beat already done on this mixtape. It just doesn't take that long, and it's very, very dreamy, bouncy, it's got all the right stuff to it. And then we get onto my favourite part of this, which is doing the 808s. Every producer says that they love doing the 808s, and it's just so much fun when it all comes together, right? So, here are the 808s. Here's my 808 pattern. I usually vary it up a bit. I have 1, 2, 3, I think 3 or 4 variations on the 808s. Yeah, I have 4 because there's another variation down here. 4 variations on the 808s. You always want to switch between them so it never gets too boring, never predictable. But here they are. You want to max out the velocity on them. It's easier when it's mixing. And you can hear it's got bounce to it. And one tip I can give you for when you're doing your 808s, if you don't want them to clash with the kicks, so they don't come in at the same time, for example, you can hear when they land on the same note, the 808 is very, very slightly delayed. First of all, right click on basic 808 and then click on cut itself. And then you click on the sound. Second page, we want to have to do this. You want to drop the attack down all the way and then move it up just a pube like that, just so it has a little thing there. It moves it slightly to the right so it doesn't come in. As soon as the note is hit, it gradually grows into it, but it's very slight so you can't really hear it. And drag the tension all the way to the left. And this, if I do that, instead of making it a straight curve or making it take more time, it's like very quick. So that means the attack is very slow and it moves very quickly into the hold. You want to have hold all the way up, decay all the way down, sustain, release all the way down. These are very important. The hold, make sure that as long as the note is there, the 808 will play, and then when it's not playing, immediately it cuts out. Oh, sorry, some cars are just driving past. And the attack, make sure that the kick and the 808s do not clash. So together, I've talked about this too long now. Anyways. If I add the whole drums in. And as you can see, I don't use that many sounds. I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the rest is just variations. So honestly, it's not that hard. And this is your basic groove for the drums. And you can see it just comes together perfectly. So that's what you want to do. You want to follow the chords with the 808, but you also want to vary it up a bit. So move a note up to an octave if it's repeated too much. Bring it down an octave if it's repeated too much. Don't do root notes. Do notes in the chord as well that work. Just do stuff like that. Vary it up. Whatever you hear, you want to add it in. Whatever your little voice inside your head, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. When you hear a melody, you hear the drums over it. Whatever you hear over it, add it in. Just make another pattern. The quickest way to do this: shift, click on the pattern, move it to the right, or to the left, or down, or up, and then in the top here, click on that little keyboard note, make unique, edit it. You can edit the fuck out of it. It's honestly so fine. It will not edit any of your other patterns. It will make it unique. Perfect. So you can just shift, click, drag to the right, little keyboard, make unique, and that is what you need. So yeah, that is my beat so far. Now the drop is the most important part of any beat. The most typical trap beat will go for 8 bars or 4 bars and instantly drop into everything coming in. This one, obviously everything comes in at once, but they come in at different times. And here is what it sounds like when it drops. Starts off with a melody. And that is a more interesting drop than you'll hear if you just go for 8 bars and immediately drop it, because the listeners aren't really expecting it. When the hi-hats come in, they're like, oh, what's happening? Then the kick, then the 808s at the same time, then everything comes in and it just sounds better. So that is a bit of structuring for you. Let me just save real quick. That is another thing you want to do. Save 24/7. You never know when your computer's going to crash, especially if you have a shit computer like mine. But yeah, carry on. I usually have about 8 bars of the whole thing, and then I want to switch it up again. So as you can see, this 808 is already, this is basic 808, this is basic 808, 2, 3, and then goes back to 2. So I already have loads of 808 variations. So it sounds like this. Slightly more gaps in between the notes, and it just flows for this part of the song. And another tip I can give you is, if you carry on the hi-hats for the whole way through here, it's going to get quite boring. If you add little cutouts like this, within your hi-hats or within your kicks or within your 808s, it just makes it sound much more interesting. So if you go from here, if it's straight, there's no way of indicating that you're in the second part of the verse. But if you add this little drop in, you will hear the difference. It feels like everything cuts out, even though it's only one instrument. The bounce goes away and then it comes right back in, and it's just very interesting like this. That's just what I always do, and I'd recommend you guys do it too. Obviously, if you can't implement it, if it just doesn't sound right, don't force it, but try your hardest to. Okay, next thing I did was, I liked the chords, I liked everything that was going on, but I felt like if I carried those chords the whole way through, it would get very repetitive. So what you want to do is, when you're still on this screen, when you haven't exported them up to here, everything should still be on here. You want to right click on this little green button, solo this, the chords only, or the melody. Make sure it's 4 bars or 8 bars, not like 3 bars. Don't do anything weird like that unless you're really good and you can really get a groove down with only 3 bars of melody. If it's in the regular time signature, you know what I mean. So yeah, solo that out. Make sure it's the only thing playing. Then you press File, Export as a WAV file, export it to your desktop. I have a folder for what I'm about to show you. So yeah, export it. Make sure you know what BPM it's in. If it's 150, keep it at 150. If it's 140, I'd recommend for this type of music anywhere from 100 to 180 works, but usually about 130, 140, 150 is the best for it. So yeah, once you've exported, you want to click on this add button and go to Fruity Slicer. You open Fruity Slicer, go to your files. I have mine in, if I go to beats, I have so much shit in here, but beats, and then Fruity Slicer, Chill Vibes is what I called mine. You open up your Fruity Slicer, drop in the sample, and don't press play because it's going to sound like shit. Click on this little razor tool, and then click on beat slicing. You want every beat to slice, and then turn the attack up and the decay up to your preference, up all the way, up halfway. I keep mine very low down because it is quite noticeable. If I put mine all the way up, it adds a tremolo effect, and I don't really look for that. But if you put it down here where I have mine, it just feels like a stutter, which just adds another sound to the song. Even though it's the same chord, it sounds different. I didn't touch these, but you can pitch shift it down, so it can go. You can make the notes be shorter, so longer. Just a bunch of stuff, really. You can do anything on here. But yeah, make sure it's on beat slicing or half beat. I would just recommend beat because it's the best. It sounds the best out of all of them. And once you have that, it will just drag it into a piano roll. And from here, you can switch it up. You can move the notes about, see what sounds good. I kept mine basic. I just wanted that fade in, fade out kind of effect. And here it just sounds like this. Transitioning. Just mute my tag as well. Right, same exact drums, same exact melody. I added one more melody in on another Nexus, and this melody is on. Okay, this is gonna be a weird place to get your pack from. However, if you search up on YouTube free UK drill drum pack, I used to produce drill. I don't really do it. I'm not very good at it, but I found this Nexus pack, and it comes with a drum pack, and it comes with the Nexus pack, and pretty much everything you could need. And all the sounds on here are good for that genre of music, but Water Drop is very, very, very versatile. So, pattern 18, here we go. Find what Nexus I'm on. I'm on this one, actually. Water Drop Piano is what I used. And then I got the exact same chords. Starts on a B, it's a minor 11th. skipped every other note and just placed one down, didn't go all the way up, and it's like this. Let me just get it to come in. Here we go. It's just arpeggiated. And it's the exact same chords, but it just adds like a flow to the song, and it makes it more interesting if you have it cut out, if you have another melody put in. So yeah, this is all I've had in so far. And then I also added a transition sound effect, which sounds like this. Just like a little, like someone blowing into a mic. And that just signifies that we're transitioning from a verse intro bit to a chorus. Or it could be a chorus to a verse. It sounds better if it's a chorus to a verse, because this is where the beat drops out and it goes like this. I added my tag in again, just because it sounded good there. Yeah, and then everything carries on like that for a bit. And then right at the end, what I did is I did a little stutter where I took the very last chord of the original Nexus, so this one here, just dragged it down, cut it up, and then just pasted it. Same with this melody, same with the 808s, and it sounds like this. And that just, obviously, instead of using another riser or something, just signifies that we're moving back into the chorus. So it just flows, it sounds good in there, and it will gash your listeners up. When they hear it, they're like, oof. And here I have another sound effect. I use it in all my beats. It is so good. The rise is amazing. It's a reverse kick or something like that. It just sounds so good. And you know that it's going to be hard when that noise comes in. Yet again, if I can be bothered to find it, I will link it down below. If I can't, then I'm not going to do that. I just searched up free transition sound pack, and this is what this is what came up, and here are the sounds. Some of them are panned, some of them pan actively while it's going on. This is a little blow sound I had. This is my typical riser that I use every day. This is another one. This one's quite long, but they're just all so good, and I really recommend you get the pack. I'll probably go the extra mile and try and find it and link it down below, because it is so good. And here it is. It just fits in well with that little stutter. Then we go back to the same chords, same everything. Pretty much cuts out here again. And one thing I did for the kicks is I had it come in more frequently compared to this part here. So the first half of the chorus, I didn't have it come in that much. In the second half, I did. Let's just listen to the kicks. Whereas here, it feels more empty space. And that just adds another bounce to the beat, and it just makes it more interesting. It switches it up, it varies it more. So yeah, same exact as here. Comes in, carries on, vary the 808s, make sure they're varied. Right at the end, I have the open hat. Just dragged it across, clicked on the keyboard, made it unique, and then I added it in every 2 beats, I think, just to feel like we're building up to something, as you can hear. And here I literally dragged the chords across, did the little keyboard thing, made it unique, and then took the chords. If you press Control and the down key on your keyboard, it will move it down an octave. Control and up will move it up an octave. So I just Control down, moved it down an octave. Another tip is if you press Shift up down, moves it up a semitone or down a semitone. And hear what the chord sounds like. And I carried on the same drums because what switched up was the melody, so I can't switch too many things up where it just sounds random. As a transition into that, I use this riser, which is very, very loud. when you drag it in, but luckily I just mix it down. I forgot I did that. I was expecting it to be ear rape. But yeah, drag that in. It is in the Bad Rabbits Rise effects. It is a free pack. I recommend you go get it. I don't use any of these apart from the Super Mario ones. I dragged it in and then I reversed it. You want to make sure it's reversed. And this, shout out to Joe Blue. He taught me what this does. This just cuts off the audio where the it just makes it quiet at the end, so you can make a sound shorter or longer depending on how you want it. But I kept mine around here. If I unmute it, it goes like this. You can hear and right at the end of that, the drums come in, so there's rarely any empty space. And then one of the final things I did was go into Nexus again. Let me see if this is the right instance of Nexus. There we go. This is okay. I went into Nexus, Metro Boom Impact, Trip and Lead. I use this in all my beats pretty much. It is amazing, and it sounds like this. Let me just solo it out so you can hear it. It's just very spacey. It sounds out of space, like dreamy, alien-like. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a very good sound. So yeah, I add all those in. Let me just here we go. And that is the beat.